might be live. Sure says you're live.
Are we live? This is us getting ready because you know we're never ready before we're ready. We're real time here.
Always real time.
We like it real time.
And we're back to our mobile video producing. So
Hello,
there's
hello.
Joyce in her studio.
Yes, in my studio, my ironing board studio.
Yes.
So we thought we'd do something different today. I wanted this week to focus on different techniques associated with making masks. And I personally have not made a mask yet. So Joyce has made mini masks.
I've made a couple. So do you want me to just talk about the mask?
Yeah,
real quick?
so go ahead and tell them
All
what
right.
you're doing.
So,
And we do have a different system, ladies, so let us know if you can't hear or what's
Right.
going on. We got Naomi,
Yeah, talk
Lori,
loud.
Julie, Kay. Hello,
Hi,
hello.
We should say who we are. Actually, I never announced that this is Kathy at Quilt Beginnings in Columbus, Ohio.
this is Joyce from Quilt Beginnings in Columbus, Ohio, and
Katie behind the
This is
scenes.
Katie. Hello.
all right. So we are not going to make any disclaimers. I mean, we know that you guys have made 10,000 times more masks than we have made. But for those of you who haven't made any yet or figured it out, or you just need one for you because they've suggested that you make masks when you go out, especially when you go out shopping, or and it's not like the N95, of course. Those are the ones that they need in the hospitals. But and then step down is like the surgical mask, and then there's us who just want a little mask. So there's a bunch out here. I would say that this type is the most popular, the kind with the plates, because they're probably the simplest ones. They also have the fitted ones that kind of go down the middle, and you might try that, right?
Yes.
It has a curve on it.
Yes, we're going to do that one another day.
So it looks more like this. It's going to have a pattern piece like that with lining. So, but we're going to start with the just the simple ones, and I've kind of taken some variations on the theme, taking the easy parts or make it. So I've listened to a whole bunch of YouTubes like you have, I'm sure. Listen to your friends. I've also Lori Hernandez, who's a Baby Lock ambassador, who does a lot with sergers. We've had her in before. I loved hers. So I'm taking hers and kind of doing a variation on it. So for the most part, they have you cut a 6x9 fabric. So one for, I should have the design wall out here. So you have like one for the outside of your mask, and then
Oh, look at that friction.
I know, it's great, isn't it? Then you have one for your lining, okay? And then a lot of them are saying to put like a woven or a non-woven. So my favorite is SF101. So then that would go behind this one, and you can just press it on, and so that gives it that barrier, the extra barrier and stability. So that's pretty much what everybody is using. But instead I thought, why would I do two of these when I can just do, instead of a 6x9, I would do a 12x9, right? And I can just fold it, and then pressed on the bottom half, my SF101. So that's down there. And then you can just it, and then you have one seam to do instead of two, right? And then you can only have to turn it inside out. So we're just going to do that. So actually, I'll let you do that, Kathy. Kathy
All
is
right.
a seamstress.
This is a class.
So we decided that I'm going to be the student since I have not actually made one before, and Joyce is my instructor.
Yes.
And she's going to have me, she's giving me things, and
Kinda
then
scary.
I'm going to sew them because, you know, when I sew, there's always mishaps. So we thought that might be more entertaining.
Yes, we are all about the entertainment element.
Yes,
so
that's
it's
right.
a little bit
But what-
scary, me teaching her. So.
I know, I like it. I like it. And also, this table's really tall, and Joyce is really short.
Yeah.
And
And we
so
have lots of mishaps.
if she sits at this table,
You won't
it's
see
like
me.
she's like up here. So I'm her muscle.
I love it. I love this. Can you my sewing room?
Absolutely,
Okay,
I'll sew for you.
okay,
All right.
So so we are doing the 9x12. I've already pretty much fused this. It's kind of hanging there, but I've already fused the 6x9 interfacing onto the back. So Kathy is going to do right sides together, and with the serger, we're doing the serger. Now, of course, you can do this with your sewing machine too, but the serger gives it such a nice finish, and it's so fast. You'll see how fast she is, and she didn't even know that I selected this beautiful fabric, this inspirational
I do love
Love
that
is the
fabric.
Answer fabric. Isn't that cute?
This has been very popular
Very,
for masks.
it's very popular for
It's
masks
very
because we do
sweet.
love all of you. But look, she
do.
picked out the perfect thread and didn't even know that she did it. I'm so impressed that she can read my mind that way. So if you wouldn't mind serging the top of that, Miss
So
Kathy.
just the top?
Yep, just you're going to sew that seam together, okay?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know about the serger, it's a 4 thread and it's going to cut and trim and
We don't want a lot
Come
of cutting,
around.
so she's going to bring it right up to the blade and just so it's going to be nice.
Yes.
and-
All right.
all right.
We've got Susan Dummers and Joan and Jacqueline
Hello,
and Diana
hello.
Preston and Margie. Hello, everybody. And she's off.
Oh, I love this serger. Almost. All right. Look at that nice, clean finish.
That was quick.
Beautiful. Just that fast. Now for the standard mask, what they do is they do all the way around. You're going to sew all the way around and then you leave it and you're going to insert your elastic and then you have to turn that all inside out, and we know how much we hate to turn things inside out and get those corners. So that's why I love this method the best, because what you can do then is you just turn it inside out and it's done, right? So you don't have to like poke the corners and try to get your hand in there and everything else. So that is the same result as if you did the other pieces, right? So then we're going to press that, but I already have one pressed.
You are
Oh.
such a great teacher.
Oh my God.
I love you.
So it looks like this. It's already been pressed, and then I have my stabilizer inside of it. So the next thing that they want you to do is to give it a nice little top stitch. So actually, Kathy, if you want to, I've already top stitched one side of it, and if you wouldn't mind top stitching the other side, the
And you just want it right along the edge?
Yes, about 1/8 of an inch in.
Okay, so when we want to top stitch, we're going to put on our 10D foot. We use this with our
Yes,
binding as well.
yes.
It's the one that has the flange. And the reason we like that is because we can be along the edge. We can move our needle over a couple of positions. So here I'm along my edge as I sew. I'll move my needle over towards the fabric, and then I can get a really nice straight seam as I come down. So let me change my foot real quick.
It really gives it a professional finish. It's their #1 selling foot for Bernina. Is the
That's right.
10.
Joyce does not let a Bernina go out of the building without this foot.
Why would you
It's
not
her
have this
favorite foot. So I'm going to go over, how many clicks do you want over? 3?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay. I'm going to bring my foot down.
We got lots of support on the sergers doing masks.
right, yeah.
And we used sergers. Do we have any used sergers?
I don't know.
I don't think we do right now, but the Celebrate, or Victory, one of them starts at $9.99.
So give us a call.
Yeah, we can help you.
Yeah, you
We
can
can
get a
definitely
lot of
help
masks
you.
done
They
quick with
are
these.
beautiful.
They are great for finishing
Oh!
seams.
Thread.
Lib already called you out. The
Yeah.
dual feed.
Oh, look
Thank
at that!
Thank you. Thank you, Libby.
Let me raise my foot and put my
bring that
dual
down,
feed back
Erin.
on. Yes,
Thank
I
you for
changed
pointing
my...
out that feature. Tell
Yes.
us about that
So
feature,
the
Kathy.
dual feed actually walks your top and bottom and middle layers all together. And anytime you can do it, especially with things like top stitching, when you're going across all the layers, it's really helpful.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
wow,
There's our
look at how
mishaps.
perfectly straight
It is
that
so
is. I know
nice.
it's hard to see because
Wow.
it's kind of blended in, but it makes a perfect narrow-edged finish. Awesome. There you go,
Okay,
Miss Joyce.
thank you. She's such a good student, isn't she? Well done. Okay, so the next thing that a lot of people are using is they put a wire kind of over your nose area. And I was talking to my daughter who just made a bunch of masks this weekend. Jordan, hi Jordan.
Hi,
Jordan. But she was saying that some places say not to put a wire in because if you wash it, it'll rust. However, so I actually hand wash my mask, you know, just to make sure it stays good. But a lot of people are like, I don't have wire, I can't buy it or whatever. So Jill, you will appreciate this because Jill and I were collecting a lot of these Starbucks bags because we were making bags out of Starbucks. And I love this little tie that comes off of it here. So this is a tie that you like put on your coffee. It's such a soft, it's coated. So it's a great little piece. It's the perfect length, it's 5 inches. So what I do, and the reason we put the nose piece on is so that it conforms to your face better. So here's one that I made with cute little bees on it. So then I can put it on my nose so it fits there. And so what a lot of people have problems with, first of all, that gives you better, you know, tight, you know, to the face, right? The other thing is, if you wear glasses, if you wear eyeglasses and you don't have that on, people are they're
fogging up their
steaming
glasses.
them up. So that's a problem for them, because if you're trying to drive or walk or talk and you can't see, that's a problem. So, right. So we put that on, and you can conform it, to your nose. And then when you wear your glasses, they sit on the outside, so you're not fogging anything up. So should you choose to put that in.
Can I make one little comment about this
yes,
too?
Yes, please.
So I had heard some people say that they were microwaving their
why?
Their masks to disinfect them, but you
dear.
do never want to do that,
No.
because if you do put any of these metal parts in there, you'll actually explode your microwave. So my uncle, who's a doctor, said that you can bake them at 200 degrees for like 10 minutes,
true.
and it kills any bacteria in them, but do not microwave them. So there's something going around like microwave your mask, but don't do it.
Yeah, you'll explode your
microwave,
kitchen.
so don't do it.
The alternative is you could wash your fabric before you make your mask.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
That's
throw them
one
in the
thing.
dryer.
Throw them in the
Yeah,
dryer.
exactly.
I don't know. It's kind of iffy.
Could you remind us the edge stitch foot for the FOF?
For the FOF, it's called the narrow edge foot, and
It comes with the icon, right?
it does come. The bi-level foot comes with the icon, which is it has two slightly different heights, which is good when you're off the fabric and on the fabric. It does come with the icon, but it's a very popular foot for any machine. And the FOF machine, I think the FOF foot is $29.95. It's actually very inexpensive,
reasonable.
very reasonably priced. So
Yeah.
Cool. You'll want it. You'll
yes,
want it.
and I'm sure the Baby Lock has one too. I'm sure they have one.
No, I know Pam's out there.
They have to have one.
Yes, they have to have one. It's very, very utilitarian.
It is. So should you choose to put the nose piece in, which I do on all of mine, this is 5 inches, I just know, and they're very standard. Didn't realize, never even thought about that on these bags, but they're all 5 inches. So I just fold my mask in half, and then I mark it. So I have this friction pin, which will go away with steam. So I mark the halfway mark, and then 2.5 inches from each side. You could just lay it on there, and then just put your little mark. And so what I do then is I just sneak this little guy in here. Are you interested in sewing this?
I would love to sew that for you.
Okay, all right. Well,
Gosh,
thank
maybe
you.
I'll have a mask at the end of this.
I love this arrangement. This is great.
I'm liking it too. I like it. She just gives me stuff and I sew
I
it.
know.
It's awesome. It's so much calmer when Joyce is doing the presentation. Have you noticed that? She has everything staged, organized.
It's not as much fun though, right? I mean,
Oh, it's very fun.
totally
It's very
not as
fun.
much fun. So what I do?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So I just put it up in there, and then I have a pin where the ends of right on the outside of the ends of that elastic. So here is my 34D foot, which is clear and I can see.
Flo said she put one in the microwave. It caught on fire.
Flo,
Watch out.
Oh, you're married to
Don't
a
do it again.
fireman. You should know that.
So thank you, Flo,
Yes.
for sharing that
And we have
caution.
a lot of input also on pipe cleaners.
Yes.
So
Yes,
the
and you can't
Starbucks
put
bag,
those. And pipe cleaners have
Yes.
wire in them too, so they cannot go in the microwave either.
True.
Yes.
But they
But
do
pipe
work
cleaners are-
well.
they do work well.
very well. And so on those pipe cleaners, if you cut off the length that you need, just tuck those ends on the, just fold them over so that sharp pointy piece of metal doesn't poke through your mask, okay? So just,
and
crimp
scratch
around the
your
edge.
face.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
We don't want any
and
face
look like
scratching.
you've been in a cat fight or something. We don't want that. So what I do, and Kathy, I don't know if you can see, so that red line that's on this foot, I just kind of put it where my pin is, and I move my needle like to 3 clicks to the right, so it's not going to come anywhere near my needle or anything. And then I turn this way and see, all the Bernina feet have these, an opening in the back with a screw, and so that's to use this little guy here, and so he can go on either side. But so once I make my turn, then I can use that guide and just go along my fabric and then come back and turn here, and that cases it in. It's so fast and simple.
Wow, so not only does she prep her fabric, she preps her feet. So that I just have to put it on the machine and it's already ready to
I wanna make
go.
it as easy as possible.
I like it, and I will heed Libby Daughtery's advice, and
Yes.
I will put my dual feed back
Full
on.
feed. It's so awesome.
That's right, so it's back on. Okay, so I'm going to just sew my red line along my needle.
And you want to, yes, and you want to move your needle like 3 clicks to the right, I believe. Is that right? Are we -3? There you go. All right.
All right, so I'm taking my needle out because I don't want to sew on top
Right,
of my
we do not
needle.
want to sew on top
This
of
foot
our
is so hard to see. It's clear.
It is clear, but there's the red line.
But you can see
Right
your
there is the
fabric.
red line. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to sew down. I did 3 clicks to the right. Do I want to back stitch, Joyce?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, I love being a student. That's just so unusual. And then how far? I'm just stitching past it, you said?
Yep. You can
And then
kind
I'm
of feel
gonna.
it with your finger, right?
Yep.
Kind of feel where that's at.
And then I'm
you're
gonna
go
pivot.
down below it.
Oh, and then look, it keeps me straight. Look at my guide goes right along the edge. Oh, I'm liking this. And I come to my other pin. Pull it out. Turn. Oh, love that knee lift raising my foot
I
for me.
know, it's wonderful.
And then I'm going
Make
to
these
back up
so
here.
many of these.
Flo, if you call right now, none of us will answer the phone. Everyone's back here. We'll be taking phone calls from 11 to 3 tomorrow, or call and leave a voicemail.
All right.
All right, well done. She is
Look,
getting
I passed.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Does it
It's
bend?
okay.
Oh, let's
look,
see.
I'll try it on.
Yes. See
Ah!
how it bends and it fits her. Look at her pretty eyes.
That was lovely.
Look
I
at
think it
that.
matches.
It does. All right, so that part is done. So now this is the part that is confusing to a lot of people. And sorry, I have all my stuff here.
What number foot is that clear?
This is
34.
34C, or 34D, sorry, because it's using with the dual feed.
So they have a 34, a 34C, and a 34D, depending on your machine. But if you have a dual feed capability, you want to get the 34D. It's the best foot you'll ever have. I love it. Well, aside from the 10D.
And all the other great feet.
Yes, yes. So now that we have that done, the next part for those of you who've done these already is to do the pleats. So the pleats are about, if you mark, and everybody's like, it's like 1 and then a half, and then they're like, which way do I do the pleat? It's really confusing. So all we're going to do, oh, I thought you had red bobbin in there for a minute. I'm like, what? Okay, so we just take a pen, so I think I pressed this, so my marks are gone.
Oh, the friction
See,
pens
the
go away
friction
so well.
tip- Oh, actually, it's right here. It's right here. So I don't know if you can see this, but we are marking from the bottom. So here's my little nose piece, so I know that's the top. So then, so 1.5 inches, there's a tick mark. 1.5 inch, so that's a half, and then another 1.5, and then another 1.5. So 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 on both sides. Now, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to pleat this now. So instead of making it really difficult, I'm just going to grab where that 1.5 inch tick mark is right here, and I'm just going to pinch it. Now your pleats need to go down, okay? So I'm just going to pinch it, and my pinch is about a 1/2 inch, and then I'm just going to tack it down like that, and then we have these great clover clips, and that's what we're going to use to pinch it down. And that way you don't have to, draw the lines and do everything else, okay? Then I'm going to go to my next one, which is here and here. I can see it. You probably can't see it, but they really are there. I'm pinching it, and I'm laying it down about a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to clip and clip.
Does the Foth have a clear foot in that way?
It has a clear, it does have a clear open toe foot, and it has a clear 1/4 inch foot. I don't think it has one exactly like the 34, but it does have
They do have clear feet, yeah.
They do have some clear feet, but they tend to be a clear foot of a different purpose, as opposed to one that's strictly the clear foot, if that makes sense.
All right, so that's what it looks like. See how fast that was? It wasn't so complicated at all, right? So nose piece up here, and then I'm just going to see if it's pretty close to being about the same size. That looks about 3, and that looks about pretty much 3. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to give it a little press on our Martelli mat, which we love, and this Panasonic iron, which we also love.
We love them all.
We do.
love
We
it.
have such good tools
We
here.
have good stuff.
Oh,
have
did we
good
forget
stuff.
to turn the iron on?
I had it on, but it probably turned off already. Okay, look, I can spin this towards you. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that
You can
awesome?
show it off.
I know. Now I'm going to use my iron. Oh, did you see that steam? Okay, here we go. Steam, steam, steam. And no cords. I'm not getting all tangled up or tripping.
I love it.
There it is.
I have to tell you that I don't know if my dad's watching, but my dad is 92 years old.
He's amazing.
And his wife,
amazing.
Miss Gigi, wanted, she saw these demoed, and my dad actually called from California and ordered a cordless iron for his wife that's wanted one for years. So even 90-year-olds like these cordless irons.
They're wonderful.
I thought that was great.
That is neat. Okay, so now all we're going to do, we're going to take this to the machine, and we're going to just kind of do that same top stitch. And then after we do that top stitch, we're gonna serge it. I mean, we can try to serge it, but I'm afraid that we might get
With the
caught.
clips?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want me to just sew straight down the side?
Yep, just to,
So
about
unclip
an
as I
eighth
go?
of it. Yep, yep.
All right.
She's just gonna sew that down.
So I don't really need this 34C with the guide on it anymore.
No.
I'm going to put on a 34C without the guide.
Sure. Or you know what I do is I just flip that up. I just flip that up.
Oh, Joyce, look how, okay. See, my teacher's teaching me all kinds
There
of things.
go.
You just
doesn't
push it
even
out
have
of
to
your
go all the
way.
Just get it out of your way. Is it? You don't have to put it all the way up, but just get it out,
Yeah.
out of your
All
way.
right, and then I'm going to put my foot down.
Rebecca, we were using a 6x9 original fabric, but Joyce cut a, what was it, a 12x9? A 12x9 and folded it in half.
So you only have to do one seam.
So you only have to do one seam instead of two.
Because we know you guys are making thousands of these, so we want to make it as
There's
fast
one
as
side
possible.
sewn down. And it's probably easier to sew, I guess it doesn't matter if you sew towards the,
I didn't have any problems. You can sew down, but it's easier to have it go in that direction. So
and I'm just sewing right over the pleats. I'm not lifting or moving or shifting anything.
right.
And now I'm going to serge these.
Okay, so now she's just going to serge it and give it a nice finish on the ends. And
Nice.
you'll find out here why in just a moment.
Excuse me, I got to move my foot around. There we go.
So Marilyn asks if our short ends have raw edges, but we're gonna...
They do right
finishing right
now,
now.
but we're going to serge them and get rid of the raw edge.
Woo!
Wow, I love that. Ooh, that's fun.
Isn't that pretty? I can't believe you picked the right fabric, yeah.
I
The-
love
the-
this.
the
This is
thread-
perfect.
The thread is
The thread is perfect. It's a little slower this way because I'm going into the pleats instead of over the pleats the other way. There we go. Look at that. It's perfect.
It's beautiful.
Nice.
This machine, there's no tension dials, there's no settings. It just always is perfect. I love it. Okay.
All right.
So if we weren't using a serger, we'd finish the edge.
Yes.
Yes, you can overlock. You can use the overlock stitch on your machine.
Yes.
It just takes a little bit longer because on a serger it's 4 threads all at once, and it's trimming and finishing. On the sewing machine, it's the bobbin and the top, so it takes a lot longer for it to do the zigzag overlock. But absolutely, you can do it on your machine.
You absolutely can, and actually, I think it's for these Berninas. I think it's like stitch number 20. It's an overlock stitch, so you can totally do that. I just love how fast and how beautiful this is, how finished looking it is. So now, at this point, if you wanted to use elastic, which I'm going to move this way. Don't
Sneak
take a picture of my little station.
We've got a lot of
here.
behind the scenes going
I
on.
know. Let me
Yeah, so we have all baby lock sergers. So the one Kathy was using is
The Acclaim, which is a 4 thread overlock.
Beautiful.
It has a nice big throat space. It even threads your needles for you at Jet Air. I should show you while she's getting organized. I'm just going to clip one of these because this is my favorite thing to do.
Oh.
I'm going to come clip my two loopers because I don't know if you guys have ever done a looper before. I'll just show you how easy this is. First, let me pull the thread out. Oh, before I do that, let me pull the thread out.
So first you're going to get it real messed up.
I am. I'm messing up. I'm messing up our.
Are you doing it on purpose?
There we go. Okay, so normally in another kind of serger, you would never just pull your threads all the way out like that. You'd always pull them through your machine. With the baby lock, you just take it down to threading. You turn the crank until, I already did it. Here, let me do it again. Turn the crank until the pipes lock. The pipes lock closed. Then I just take my thread.
It's so fun.
So fun. And I take this one, which is, I've managed to tangle it on itself. Here we go. And then I'm going to just put it into the hole. So the lower looper goes in the L hole, L for lower. And I push the button, and it's already threaded. There it is. Fast. And the upper goes in the U for upper. Done. All threaded. And go back to serging, and we're ready to start sewing again.
Woo!
I know it. Love it.
She's pretty fast.
All right.
It's so much fun. You don't mind changing threads on that machine because it's just it's like playing when you get to thread those upper and lower
right.
loopers.
Just hit the button.
Yeah. Actually, here's the close-up of what it looks like to do it on your machine, to do like I don't know if you can see that very well, but to do like an overlock stitch on your sewing machine. So you can still get a nice finish. The nice thing was I didn't have to turn anything, inside out and get the corners. I love that part. So let me go back to what Kathy was working on. At this point, if you were doing elastic, you would attach your elastic. So I think I gave all my elastic away. I have my
Oh, we
two
have
little
some. Do you want me to?
Oh, no. We're not going to do elastic today.
Okay.
But if you were, what you would do is you would just take your end of your elastic. Normally they cut about 7 inches, and that's all, you know, the size of your head and all that kind of stuff, what's comfortable for you. For me, it was a little bit long, so I had to adjust a little bit. But 7 inches seems to be the standard, so you would just sew it just like this on the ends, and then, you know, tack it down. And then I'll show you the next part, but then you would have your elastic on for that, okay? And we are kind of getting at the end of our elastic, just saying, so.
Yes, we just got in almost 1,000 yards, which is a lot of elastic, and it's just about all accounted for.
It is, yeah.
So I do have another shipment coming hopefully next week, but it's amazing how it's
fast
like
it
gold
goes.
right now.
Yeah.
It's really
It is.
Only
so-
because you guys are so generous, and I know you're making
I
masks for
know,
everybody,
I
and that's
know.
why. So thank you to all of you, generous
Yes.
people.
Yes.
The other thing we do have some is it's called a fold over elastic. So it's very soft, so it's nice on your ears, and you can also do something like this and put it so it goes, you know, totally over your head. I would do it, but my hair would be like this. But, you know, so here's my little nose piece. I would just put it on and put it over my head.
She
And so-
reminds me of a stewardess on the airplane. When your mask comes down, put it over your face first.
before you help the one with you.
Right.
Okay. So here is one alternative to use with that. So we have this in like a white and a black, extremely soft. I really like it a lot. And if you really, you know, want to have the 1/4 inch, it is a fold over elastic, so you could, you know, finish your edges and do it.
And
that
I
way.
think also, Joyce, this one can be cut. There's a center line.
I tried it and it
It's
started to
right?
ravel.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it may not be the one. There's another one that you can actually cut in half to make it into 1/4 inch.
Regular elastic you can, because the way
Yeah.
it's done, it's
Okay,
nice and
sorry, I
sturdy.
thought that
No,
you could do that with that.
I know, I did try it because you said that, so I did try it at home. So we're at this point right now. Now here's what I like to do next. So this is, so what she's going to do is, and we can clip these. I actually clipped them a little bit longer. So just, you know, just a little bit, because that can get tucked in. I know Libby and Judy, if you're watching, you'll be like, oh, get those little tails in. Now if you're making this for a very precious gift, you can. Make it beautiful, and you can even bling it out and everything else. But we can just tuck those in, because what we're going to do next is we're just going to fold this over. So let's see, where's your top? Here's her bend. Her pleats are down, so I know this is the front of the mask. So if I go to the back, I'm just going to fold this over about 1/2 inch, and we are going to edge stitch this down. And so what's going to happen is it's going to look like this. It's actually making a casing. And before she does that, I want to talk to you about different things, because if you can't get elastic, this is one way you can do it. You can either, if you have elastic, put your elastic on and do the same thing. Let me show you. If you were to put your elastic on, here's the front of my mask. And I believe I would go onto the front of the mask. And then when I fold that over and then stitch it down, this will go back like that and give you your little ear loops. Can you see that? Okay. So that's one way to do that. It's going to look similar to this.
Oh my. Barb wants to know if we'll have written directions or if they should be taking notes.
Barb.
This is kind of like math.
It is, but the
kinda
nice
like
thing
that.
is you can rewatch this again and
Yeah.
again.
It might be kind of scary though. You're like, oh no, please no.
I will in the comments. I will do. Let's see,
can
how
put
can
some
we
stuff.
do that? Yeah,
I
we'll
can
do
give
it.
you some notes. We'll give you notes.
We'll give you notes.
We'll give you some
Yes.
notes.
No worries.
Yes, and any questions we're not getting to, we'll be answering as well.
Yes.
Looks like, so the diamond quilt is getting a lot of attention.
I
Yes,
know. This
also-
is another
Dazzling
day.
diamonds.
This is another day. We still have kits of these available.
Yes, it's
Anyone
gorgeous.
feeling brave?
That's true. Just give us a call.
So here are some things that people are using. They're using like old t-shirts, but this is some really nice knit that we have. I just got the gray because it's the same on both sides. So if you just cut off like 1/2 inch, it's a really great stretchy to tie.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and you don't have to finish ends. It's not going to ravel. So you just cut off a strip, and there you go. And so if you were doing something
Wow.
like this, if Kathy were to, she can make her little thing, but if she can get it far enough up into there, and you might get that caught in there. Well, I don't think it matters really, and
Yeah.
as a tie-on that way. So
That's actually really cool.
it is neat.
I like this.
It's pretty cool.
This
and
is
it's
just
very
bolts of
comfortable.
jersey.
It's just knit jersey,
It
which
is.
if you or old T-shirts, we have this by the bolt. So imagine how many strips you could get of this,
Yep.
and these are long.
This
wow.
is a half-inch.
half-inch
length.
one strip.
Yeah, one strip. So this is really long.
It's all
All right.
double wide, everything that we have.
Yeah, it's long.
And we do have the fold over elastic available
We
as
do.
well. In
Yes.
addition to some 1/4 inch left. So give us a call and place your orders
Yes.
after tomorrow. Start tomorrow. Call us tomorrow.
Or call tonight and we'll fill your orders. But
That's true. Leave a voicemail.
Just and if you just allow us for just a second, we just want to take a time to say thank you for your patience. We're trying to keep it really safe in here, and so we're getting to the phones and we're answering all your calls. We're checking our emails and Facebook Live, and we're filling your orders as fast as we can. But we're trying to keep it safe too. So thank you for understanding, and
Right.
thank you for your patience. We appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
But go ahead. So I just want, like all of you, I just kind of went through my sewing room in my house. I'm like, what can we use? What can we use to make all this work? So here is it's like a, it's like a braiding cord. It's just string, right? So I had some string, and I put it on this one. So this is kind of what Kathy's getting ready to do. And if I use this one, you can actually tuck that in to sew as she goes along. So for instance, I have, wrong one.
There's so
I
many
have this
masks.
I know, there's all kinds of parts and pieces here. So if I were to take this and just fold it over and then just kind of pull that back, she can sew that down and there's nothing to pull through. It's already in its casing. So simple. And then you're about done. So let me just show you. Actually, do you want to use the string for this one?
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, all right. So this is already ready to go, and it's already been serged. And so we're just going to put your string in like that, okay?
Okay.
And do you need some clips?
No,
you have a
I
bunch
don't
right
need
here.
clips. You know me. I live dangerously.
She does live dangerously.
I like to live dangerously.
So
Okay,
she's just
so
gonna
all I
edge stitch
did
that.
was I have this hanging out, and then I'm going to stitch along here. So I'm going to use my edge stitch foot
Oh,
again
can
with
which side has your nose piece on it, Kathy, before you start
Oh.
stitching?
this side.
Actually, it doesn't matter. So it can tie at the top or the bottom. So wherever the tail is, that's where it's going to tie, either top or bottom. So we can throw it.
We can, and you can just pull it through.
Yep. Okay. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So it's where you make your loop. Let me just put this down and move
She's
my
just going to edge
needle
stitch
over.
it. Yep.
And I'm going to use the reverse again. Love that reverse button.
And she's just going to zoom all the way down. And she's going to reverse at the bottom when she gets there.
There's that side. So this is where I have to make a decision if I tie at the top or at the bottom. So wherever the loop is.
Wherever the ends are is where it's going to tie. Right.
Okay, so where the ends are. So if I wanted it to be up here and then
And then
tie
tie the
below it,
bottom.
so then I would keep my loop at the top. All right? So there's my loop, and then I'm going to do the same thing, tuck this in, to turn it over,
Yep.
and have my tail down there.
Don't you all think she gets an A+? She's doing
I'm following instructions. Oh my
so
land!
rare.
It's so rare that I actually follow instructions. But Joyce is a very good teacher, and she has everything prepped for me, so that makes it even better.
Linda says we can also use narrow gross grain ribbon.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can use ribbon just like this. That's right.
Oh, look, and you have finished sides,
Yes.
Oh, wow.
and then this just slides over your head,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it does.
And then you bring it back up.
So that the top part kind of rests. Whoops. So right. So this one I'm going to tie at the top. So you can put this over. Yeah, and it kind of rests on your ear back there, and then you just bring it up, and then you tie it.
This is instruction on how to put on a mask. Now that we've made it, how do you put it on?
Yeah, just like this. So you can just tie it. I know you can't do it
Yes.
now. So I can't see what I'm doing.
That's true. You might need, if you have a quarantine partner in your house, to have them tie it on.
Actually, if you know how to tie your shoes, you
Or,
can do
that's
this.
true.
There you
You
go.
tie your
There you
shoes
go.
blind. There it is. Wow.
So comfortable this way, and because a lot of people are complaining about how it kind of hurts your ears if you have like the elastic
Yeah.
on it. So this is actually very
I actually think
comfortable.
tying at the top is a good idea. I think
is.
tying at the top is better than tying at the bottom.
Yeah, whichever
Because
way.
it helps hold it up. Because you can tie it up a little higher. I think that's good. Either way.
And what was this ribbon that we were using? This
This
is
is
just
just a
found in your.
This is just like, yeah, like it's a braiding cord, but any string, it's string, or like Linda said, you can use ribbon. So like this ribbon is just the right size, or this is perfect too. So if you did this stretchy, this is super comfortable and very easy to tie and get on and off, and very washable too. So these are all good options, but really, ladies, you guys are also innovative, right? All these YouTubes and all these tips and tricks are coming from people like you who are like, we have to make do with what we have. So what do I have that I can use? Use your Starbucks bags and your and your daughter's hair ribbons or whatever it is that you need to do with what you have, and then we'll try to supply the rest.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So during the course of the week, we're going to do a few more tips for doing some different finishing. So different bias edges. We've got a few things.
We have these. Actually, we have a couple customers that talked about these.
Yes, that's another demo.
Yeah.
That's another day. We
Yeah.
can't get ahead of
That's
ourselves.
true. That's true.
It's
We
a
have to save it
surprise.
all.
That's a surprise.
It's secret.
It's secret.
So, but anyways, they're to ease the elastic on the ears also. So there's a lot of tips and tricks, and we thank you guys for your suggestions too, because that's where a lot of these have come from.
That's right. All right. Joyce, you're awesome. High five. Woo!
That's right. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow at 3.
Bye.